Hello, this is Marianne, and for the next hour I will be reading articles from the January-February 2026 issue of the Jewish Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Page 1, A Fifth New Year by Miriam Abramovich. In Jewish tradition, the calendar begins not once but 4 different times. Rosh Hashanah, the most familiar Jewish New Year, is our spiritual restart. The first day of the month of Nisan is the beginning of our Hebrew calendar of months, ushering in Passover and the spring. The first day of the month of Elul, a spiritual month of preparation for the high holy days, also marks the new year for tithing animals, recalling our ancient agricultural and ethical responsibilities. And the 15th day of the month of Shevat, or Tu B'Shevat, is the new year for trees, grounding us in our connection to nature. At the Buffalo Jewish Federation, we also observe a fifth new year, our January 1st new fiscal year. Not as glamorous or spiritual, but each January, in step with secular rhythms, we set goals, sharpen priorities, and recommit ourselves to our mission to build toward a flourishing Jewish Buffalo. While the Federation's ongoing work continues across many areas, 2 strategic priorities rise to the forefront of our efforts in the year ahead: security for Jewish Buffalo and community planning. In addition, in the spirit of multiple beginnings, here are 5 items shaping Federation's 5th new year ahead. Number 1. New volunteer leadership. The Federation is powered by the partnership between our professional team and an extraordinary corps of volunteer leaders. Under the leadership of our newly installed board president, Blaine Schwartz, our governance bodies, the Board of Governors, to include 3 new governors, executive committee, and 8 separate committees and leadership councils, guide strategy, steward resources, and help shape the initiatives that move our community forward. Their influence touches fiscal development, community relations, anti-Semitism response, PJ Library, Next Gen, Holocaust Education Resource Organization, and much more. Throughout the year, we will be exploring opportunities to enhance leadership skills for our current and emerging volunteer leaders. Read more about our 3 new governors and see the list of volunteers supporting each area of Federation's work in the year ahead on page 4. Number 2. The return of B'nai B'rith Youth Organization, BBYO, to Buffalo. After years of discussions, BBYO, a celebrated and respected pluralist Jewish youth movement, is returning to Buffalo. In the post-COVID era, teen engagement has shifted dramatically. Hebrew high schools have closed, overnight camps are more geographically diverse, and the synagogue-based youth groups of our youth no longer function the same way. At the Federation, teen engagement in recent years has centered on student-to-student. BBYO's updated shared staffing model offers an answer for communities like ours: access to professionals, relationship building with teens who are dispersed across schools and neighborhoods, and programming that develops leadership and Jewish identity. With staffing and fiscal support from the Federation and the endorsement of our clergy partners and the JCC, we are ready to welcome this new chapter. Contact Samantha at buffalojewishfederation.org to learn more. Number 3. Federation's annual leadership briefing featuring Rise Bioyan. Federation's 2026 Annual Community Relations Leadership Briefing builds on last year's powerful gathering that featured civil rights leader Eric Ward. This February, we are honored to feature Reis Birjan, an internationally recognized voice on combating hate and violence. After surviving a white supremacist attack, Reis led a global campaign to spare his attacker from death row. He later founded World Without Hate, an organization dedicated to education as a tool for preventing violence. Number 4. Bringing to life our partnership with Eshkol. Partnership Together is a project of the Jewish Agency for Israel that connects communities in the diaspora with communities in Israel to build relationships, strengthen Jewish identity, and support connection through joint initiatives, cultural exchanges, and leadership development. In July, we began a new Partnership Together relationship with the Eshkol region, part of the Gaza envelope. Eshkol encompasses many of the communities, moshavim and kibbutzim, that were attacked by Hamas on October the 7th. Grounded in person-to-person relationships, partnership programming can range from small group learning to collaborative arts or civic projects. In November, to kick off our exchanges, 5 Buffalo moms joined 5 mothers from Eshkol on a momentum journey, forming lasting relationships. Over the coming year, we will expand opportunities for exchanges, shared learning, and future travel. Keep an eye on this paper and in our Friday My Jewish Buffalo community email conversation for upcoming opportunities to engage. Number 5. Visibly and proudly Jewish. As we look to the year ahead, one of the most important opportunities before us is strengthening the way Jewish Buffalo shows up in the broader information landscape. The platforms where people form opinions are not neutral spaces, and the algorithms that shape public understanding often amplify misinformation and bias. This year, the Federation is laying the groundwork for a strategic media approach that operates on 2 fronts: building relationships with those who shape the news and proactively elevating the positive stories of Jewish life in Buffalo. Strengthening relationships with newsroom leaders and communications professionals across sectors is essential. These trusted relationships help ensure that when questions arise about Israel, in anti-Semitism, Jewish communal life, or the needs of our community, journalists have a direct line to accurate information, context, and expertise. Jewish Buffalo has powerful stories to tell, from the growth of student to the expansion of kindness suitcases and the presence of Next Gen across the city. Our goal is to strengthen both how Jewish Buffalo is understood and how our community understands itself. This year we are committed to showing up in the media and public square visibly, proudly and effectively Jewish. There are 2 announcements on page 2. PJ Library, save the dates. PJ and Me, Sunday, January 4th, 3 to 4 p.m. PJ Pulse, Shabbat, January the 9th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. PJ and Me, February the 1st, 3 to 4 p.m. PJ Pulse, Shabbat, February the 13th, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. For more information, visit buffalojewishfederation.org/link-gatherings. Another article, Purim Party in Larkenville, Saturday, February the 28th from 7 to 10 p.m. It costs $10. Register at bit.ly/nextgen Purim Party. Page 3, Super Sunday 2026, Buffalo Jewish Federation's Extraordinary Day of Philanthropy. On Sunday, February the 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Buffalo Jewish Federation will once again bring our community together for one of the most meaningful traditions of the year, Super Sunday, the Federation's Extraordinary Day of Philanthropy. Each year, Super Sunday energizes our community, mobilizes volunteers of all ages, and inspires generosity that makes a real impact across Jewish Buffalo and around the world. Federation staff and volunteers spend the morning reaching out to community members, inviting them to support the 2026 campaign for Jewish Buffalo. Each call helps raise the critical funds that sustain our agencies, strengthen Jewish life, and ensure that every member of our community feels included, supported, and cared for. The funds raised on Super Sunday support essential programs and services that weave the threads of Jewish connection, secure Jewish Buffalo by supporting security enhancements and training for our institutions and ensure a vibrant future for our community. As we look ahead to the coming year, we invite the entire community to be a part of this uplifting and impactful day. Join us on February the 22nd to support a flourishing Jewish Buffalo, strengthen the relationships that sustain our community, and help ensure that we continue to be joyful, inclusive, and resilient for generations to come. For more information, contact Erin Casper at erin@buffalojewishfederation.org. This was the summary of the article. Page 4, Buffalo Jewish Federation Board 2026 has new members, Hadar Borden, Maxine Auner, and Samuel Chatkin Jr. Page 5, a community relations partnership bringing hope to Buffalo. The Buffalo Jewish Federation, through its expanding community relations initiative, is proud to bring Rice Byung to Buffalo in February. His visit is made possible through a generous grant from the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo and will be facilitated in partnership with the Chapel, one of Federation's cherished interfaith partners. Rice Byung knows firsthand the devastating cost of hate and the transformative power of forgiveness. Just 10 days after the attacks of 9/11, Byung, a Bangladeshi-born immigrant, was shot in the face by a white supremacist in a racially motivated hate crime in Dallas, Texas. His long recovery, physical, emotional, and spiritual, required confronting trauma, fear, and the desire for justice. Ultimately, guided by his parents' teachings and his Islamic faith, he chose an extraordinary path. He forgave his attacker and campaigned to save him from execution. Teshuvah, or repentance, is a fundamental Jewish value, writes Rabbi Alex Lazarus Klein, who is helping to coordinate Rice's visit. I would take it a step further to say it's a fundamental human value, and to see Rice carrying it out not just for himself, but for the greater world, is incredible and a testament to his outstanding character. Refusing to let that moment of violence define him, Byung rebuilt his life, returned to school, and committed himself to understanding why people hate and how empathy, human stories, and personal connection can dismantle fear and violence. He went on to found World Without Hate, an international initiative dedicated to sharing the narratives of those impacted by hate-based violence and promoting a more compassionate, interconnected world. As part of this visit, Federation will host its annual leadership briefing with Rise Birjan. It's by invitation only on February the 27th. The Chapel and Buffalo Jewish Federation will co-host screening segments from Pain and Peace, Birjan's compelling documentary, followed by a conversation on Thursday, February the 26th at 200 Trueway Plaza in Cheektowaga. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the event will be held from 6:30 to 9 p.m. To register, go to bit.ly/painandpeace. Plans are underway to bring his message directly to Buffalo area high school students as Rise helps young people explore empathy, courage, and the dangers of hate-based violence. The partnership with the chapel reflects the core of Federation's community relations mission, strengthening relationships, building understanding, fostering connection across differences, and working together to create a safer, more compassionate Buffalo region. Good dialogue through relationship strengthens community bonds, shared John Camardo, the chapel's executive pastor. This is essential to our faith because loving our neighbor requires understanding one another's most deeply held concerns. Buijan's story reminds us that empathy is a choice, courage is a practice, and healing is possible. We look forward to welcoming him and inviting our entire community into this vital conversation. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Jewish Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio reading service. There's an announcement on page 8. Midlife Engagement Shabbat Dinner, Friday, January 16th and February 6th. Location provided upon registration. Into the Kitchen, Sunday, February the 8th at 2 p.m. It costs $36. You may register on these events at buffalojewishfederation.org/link-gatherings. There's also a Wise Gathering event for women on Thursday, January the 8th from 7 to 9 p.m. And for questions, you may contact Robin at buffalojewishfederation.org. And there is a Wise Men Gathering event on Sunday, February the 15th from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. There's also an article on page 8, Honoring the Past, Inspiring Moral Courage. Each year on January the 27th, the world pauses to observe International Holocaust Remembrance Day, honoring the 6 million Jews and millions of others persecuted and murdered by the Nazi regime. The date marks the 1945 liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest Nazi death camp, and a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for cruelty. This day is both a memorial and a call to moral responsibility. As survivors age and first-hand testimony becomes increasingly rare, the urgency to preserve their stories grows. Educators, museums, and community organizations use this moment to reaffirm the importance of Holocaust education and to teach how unchecked hatred, discrimination, and indifference can lead to catastrophe. In Western New York, the Holocaust Education Research Organization, or HERO, advances this mission through its partnership with the Share of Polish Culture at the Canisius University. Together they honor victims and heroes of the Holocaust while fostering dialogue, learning, and remembrance. Their collaboration highlights how communities can work collectively to illuminate history and confront hatred. On Wednesday, January the 21st, The community will have a rare opportunity to hear Holocaust survivor Grigory Chershnesky, joined by his daughter, Dr. Rose Birkin. In this moving program, they will recount how Greg's mother, Rose Chershnesky, and a Polish woman, Alexandra Dzewicka, each made the ultimate sacrifice to save his life. Their story is one of profound loss, extraordinary courage, and enduring resilience. Programming continues Sunday, January 25th, with a virtual presentation by historian Dr. Samuel Kassel, who will discuss his translation of Warsaw Testament, the memoir of Rochel Auerbach, one of only 3 surviving members of the Oyneg Chavez secret archival group in the Warsaw Ghetto. Her account provides an intimate window into the final days of Warsaw, once thriving Yiddish cultural world, and the bravery of those who sought to preserve its memory. Together, these programs invite reflection, deepen understanding, and honor millions of lives lost and the heroes whose courage continues to inspire. For registration, please contact Lauren at buffalojewishfederation.org. Page 9, Spring 2026, Adult Learning Experiences. Link Jewish Buffalo offers a variety of semester-long and year-long learning experiences for adults. Details about each class, cohort, or learning experience can be found below. For more information, you may also contact Stacy, S-T-A-C-E-Y, at buffalojewishfederation.org. Adult Hebrew classes, virtual classes, second semester, classes run from February the 4th through May the 14th. The fee is $236 per semester and books are purchased separately. Beginning Hebrew, Thursday 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Intermediate Hebrew, also Wednesdays 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. and Advanced Hebrew, Wednesdays 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Gathering cohorts, a women gathering, upcoming gatherings January the 22nd, February the 12th, May the 19th, and May the 7th. Men gatherings will be held on February the 26th, April 16th, and June the 4th. There will be an Introduction to Judaism class or course Wednesdays starting on January the 21st and ending on April the 29th at the Jewish Community Center, and the fee is $180 for the semester and the books are purchased separately. For more information, go to buffalojewishfederation.org/link-gatherings. Page 10, JRT Staged Readings Highlight Weekend with Midwest Playwright. A unique collaboration between the JCC's Jewish Repertory Theater, Buffalo's Synagogue Community, and the Jewish Community Legacy Project will bring Kansas City playwright Victor Wishna to Buffalo for a weekend of learning, theater, and reflection. March 20th to 22nd, 2026. The highlight, 2 staged readings of Wishna's acclaimed play, Tree of Life. Tree of Life tells the deeply moving story of a small synagogue in Ottumwa, Iowa, as it faces its final days and wrestles with the question of what to do with its last Torah scroll. Poignant yet hopeful, the play explores how Jewish communities honor their past while finding meaning and continuity for the future. Over the course of the weekend, Vishna will take part in multiple community programs. On Friday, March the 20th, he will be a guest speaker at the Congregation Beth Abraham. On March the 21st, on the Shabbat morning, he will be a special guest at Temple Beth Tzedek. On March the 21st evening, he will be the first staged reading at the Sellers Theater, JCC Gettysville. Sunday afternoon, March 22nd, second staged reading at Temple Beth Zion on Delaware Avenue, presented at a benefit for JCLP in partnership with the Buffalo Jewish Federation and the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies. Vishna will also join post-performance discussions with community members who grew up in small Jewish congregations. This collaboration marks an exciting first for Buffalo's Jewish arts and legacy community. The project began when former Federation CEO and current JCLP consultant Rob Goldberg connected with Vishna through his colleague Jay Lewis, CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Kansas City, after the play's premiere. Early conversations with JRT Artistic Director Adam Yellen and Alyssa Strang, a Federation Collot Fellow, who will direct the readings, helped bring the idea to life. With partial grant funding secured by JRT and enthusiastic support from Buffalo's major congregations, the partnership quickly took root. For JCLP, Tree of Life captures its mission to help small congregations plan for the future with dignity, foresight, and faith. The play reflects exactly what we see in so many communities, said Goldberg. It's about love of place, honoring memory, and finding new ways for sacred stories to live on. Blending art, memory, and meaning, Tree of Life promises to be more than a performance. It will be a shared reflection on what it means to sustain Jewish life from generation to generation. Tickets for each reading are $36 per person. For more information, visit jewishrepertorytheater.org. Next article, Sisters in Spirit, Connecting with the Women of Eshkol Through Momentum, by Judith Epstein. Before we departed for Israel, I thought about the words to express what we would see, hear, and sense. Now that we are home, wow, it was amazing. That's the catchphrase used so much in Israel that it is appropriate to include here as well. Our senses were reawakened throughout the fast-paced trip to Israel with Momentum. Momentum is a global initiative that brings mothers raising Jewish children to Israel for a powerful journey of identity, learning, and connection. Our cohort of 5 women from across the spectrum of Judaism, connection to Israel, and parenting were paired with a group of women from the Eshkol region, formerly known as the Gaza Envelope. They became our family and part of our community. We saw Tel Aviv at its finest, so much traffic and cranes across the bustling city with a booming economy like other metropolitan cities. We visited the Nova Festival site where we heard from a Nova Festival survivor and paid tribute to the events of October the 7th. We spent time in Jerusalem learning the history of the city, exploring the sites in the old city, and Meishen Yehuda, Yad Lekashish. We dipped in the deep Dead Sea early in the morning. We heard firsthand testimony on a very personal tour of Kibbutz Nir Oz from our new friend Doreen. She shared with us her story and others, psyched from around the kibbutz, to give us perspective of how close the kibbutz is to Khan Younis. We heard the Imam calling for prayer in Jerusalem. We danced at the Kotel on Friday night with hundreds of other Jews from across the world. We listened to a group of brave young women who are soldiers in the IDF. We ate, did we eat, and drink, and ate, some more. Falafel, shawarma, schnitzel, station 9, whiskey bar, fresh fruit, and chocolate. And while learning about all the sweets available to us, we smelled the fragrance of beautiful flowers around the country, spices in our food, everything for sale in Maishen Yehuda, a famous marketplace. We touched the Kotel. Some of us toured the tunnels dating back to Herod's time, where we were able to see the room closest to the Holy of Holies, part of the old temple. We were touched by the outpouring of openness from our new Israeli friends who shared heartfelt stories and challenges that they face daily. Our educators worked to ensure that each day had a Jewish value connected to being a mom and being Jewish today. We departed Israel with new friends, new perspectives on Israel and Judaism, and a new awareness of how intertwined we all are with each other, whether from around the corner or across the world. The energy on the trip was palpable. It felt like a dance party each day with time to reflect and connect. We look forward to connecting with Jewish Buffalo to share our stories and reflections and offer encouragement for anyone who wants to go to Israel. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Jewish Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio reading service. Page 12, Hillel Interns Making an Impact by Ryan Piken. Every year, Hillel of Buffalo partners with Repair the World to launch our Service Engagement Internship. This program empowers Jewish students to give back to the greater Buffalo community in ways that inspire them most. This year, we are proud to work with 3 incredible interns, Violet Cole, Jonathan Hirsch, and Hannah Klein. Each intern commits to participating in 10 community service events while also recruiting 25 peers to volunteer alongside them. Although they have until June to complete their service and volunteer recruitment goals, each has already gone above and beyond this past semester by organizing meaningful and enjoyable events that have an impact in Buffalo and beyond. After recent cuts to SNAP benefits, Hannah and Violet teamed up to advocate for food security. They partnered with Mazon, a Jewish organization fighting hunger, and recruited peers to write over 50 letters demanding food security for all. Their efforts didn't stop there. They also organized food drives with all donations going to Feed More Western New York. Next semester, Jonathan will recruit students to volunteer at a local soup kitchen to continue this important work. Our interns are also collaborating closely with UB clubs and organizations to host their programs. This work not only helps them reach their goals but also brings Jewish students closer together while fostering connections with non-Jewish allies through shared efforts toward positive change. These events have been really meaningful to me, said intern Hannah Klein. It's been a fun way for me to get involved in the Buffalo community and learn more about how I can help. Other events have included a walk to support people experiencing homelessness, a day spent volunteering at a rescue shelter, dog toy making workshops, and care package creation for children in need. With 6 months left in their time as service engagement interns, we cannot wait to see what these three Jewish change makers will accomplish next. Page 15, Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies. Together, the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies and the Buffalo Jewish Federation are working with many organizations in Jewish Buffalo to secure the future of our community. These organizations include Center for Jewish Life, Congregation Shir Shalom, Hillel of Buffalo, Jewish Community Center, the Jewish Discovery Center, Jewish Family Services, Kadima Scholars Program, Temple Beth Tzedek, and Temple Beth Zion. Legacy giving ensures your values live on through the generations. Legacy gifts made during or for after one's lifetime create endowments that sustain synagogues, schools, and Jewish organizations. Your participation matters. Contact Linda Barat, coordinator, for more information at linda@jewishphilanthropies.org. Page 16, New Innovative Teen Program for grades 8 through 12. Educators Rachel Brownstein-Weiss and Daryl Helfman, each with over 30 years of experience in Jewish and secular education, are launching a new Jewish teen program for students in grades 8 to 12. This innovative initiative offers a flexible, engaging alternative created to meet the needs of today's busy teens. The monthly program focuses on real-world issues, Jewish identity, and personal empowerment in a relaxed, community-centered environment. Teens will explore key topics such as understanding anti-Semitism, its origins, impact, and relevance today, advocacy skills, how to identify and respond to anti-Semitism, Jewish culture and values, traditions, ethics, and identity, Israel education, its history, modern relevance, and global role, Jewish pop culture, media, music, and modern representation, Krav Maga training, public speaking and leadership development, and field trips and meaningful volunteer hours for school and college applications. For more information, please contact Rachel D. WEISS 1224 at gmail.com. Next article, Honoring the Legacy of Tobi Tichting-Bach, Pioneer of Holocaust Education. Tobi Tichting-Bach, founder of the Holocaust Research Center of Buffalo, today's Holocaust Education Research Organization, passed away in Jerusalem on November the 10th, 2025, at the age of 98. Tobi began her career as an innovative educator at Kadima in the 1970s and 1980s, where she invited Holocaust survivors into her classroom to share their stories. She witnessed firsthand the profound impact of these voices, many speaking publicly for the first time, whose accounts of courage, loss, and resilience deeply shaped her understanding of remembrance and moral education. Guided by their testimony, Tobi recognized the urgent need to transform Holocaust education in Western New York. As founder of the Holocaust Research Center of Buffalo, Tobi built far more than a respected institution. She created a sanctuary for truth, empathy, and courageous dialogue, Over the course of her work, she personally interviewed more than 120 local survivors, witnesses, and liberators. These interviews now reside in the Oral History Collection of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. A visionary pioneer, Tobey developed a pedagogically rigorous curricula and resources that earned national acclaim. Today, every program and partnership at Hero carries the imprint of her brilliance, compassion, and leadership. Tobey's commitment to Jewish life extended well beyond Buffalo. After moving to Jerusalem with her husband, Nate Nissan, in 2000, she served on the board of the Pardes Institute of Jewish Studies and contributed her time and insight to numerous community initiatives. Wherever she engaged, Tobey brought clarity, warmth, and purpose. Known for her vitality, generosity, and legendary hospitality, Tobey nurtured enduring friendships and approached life with curiosity and adventure, traits she shared with Nate. Hero mourns the loss of its guiding light and continues to honor her legacy through the annual Tobey Tichtenbach Educator Award, presented to a teacher who exemplifies her devotion to Holocaust education. Tobey is survived by her children, Ephraim, Aaron, Rachel, and Sarah, their partners, 9 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. She was predeceased by her husband Nate and daughter Adina. Her legacy endures in her family, her students, and the communities she helped shape. Page 17. Exploring Jewish Buffalo history. Jewish Buffalo's story is rich, complex, and often overlooked, spanning nearly 2 centuries of community building, migration, innovation, and resilience. The JCC's 3-part online series invites participants to explore how Jewish life took root, evolved, and continues to shape Greater Buffalo today. History is everywhere in the news, but what about the diverse stories of Jewish Buffalo? Since the 19th century, Jews have made their home in this region, forging community ties, founding organizations and businesses, and responding to changing local and global circumstances. From utopian dreams that never materialized to neighborhoods and institutions that flourished, this course traces the local, national, and international threads that shaped Jewish Buffalo from the 1820s to the present. Participants will explore questions such as what drew Jews to Buffalo, who settled here and why, how did communities evolve, and how did their experiences mirror or diverge from other American Jewish histories? Drawing from organizational archives and individual family and business papers, the course will examine the varied stories that define Jewish life in Greater Buffalo. Session 1 explores the Ararat story and its enduring fascination, the earliest Jewish settlers, and the beginnings of communal formation. Session 2 follows the exponential community growth beginning in 1881, including the emergence of the first Jewish neighborhood on William Street and the influence of global events such as flight, refuge, and war. Session 3 turns to North Buffalo and other city neighborhoods, suburban expansion, the legacy of the Holocaust, and the impact of the State of Israel, concluding with contemporary communal developments and new forms of Jewish connection. For over a decade, Dr. Shana Revel Kotzin directed the Jewish Buffalo History Project, building more than 50 organizational and personal archival collections. She later led the Jewish Buffalo History Center, curated the reimagined Koffeld Judaic Museum at Temple Beth Zion, and recently authored the successful National Register nomination for the Achavas Achim Cemetery. This program will be held on Zoom and is free to the public. Mondays in February on Zoom, February the 9th, 16th, 23rd, from 7 to 8 p.m. To register, please go to l.feathr.co/Jewish Buffalo, where you will find the Zoom link. Page 18, JFS Mezuzah Dedication and Capital Campaign Celebration. A mezuzah is a powerful symbol of faith, identity, and protection. Jewish Family Services was proud to bless and install several mezuzot in its newly refreshed offices at 70 Barker Street in Buffalo, joined by friends, donors, and supporters at a building blessing and donor reception in November. These small yet profound expressions of JFS Jewish roots are daily reminders of the agency's values and its commitment to serving the community with compassion and dignity. This was the summary of the article. Next article, the Buffalo Community of Learners, BCOL. All great accomplishments begin with a compelling idea, and at the Buffalo Community of Learners, that idea comes alive each time students enter the classroom. What began as a vision for joyful Jewish learning has flourished thanks to creative teachers, forward-thinking leadership, and families deeply committed to Jewish education. The vibrancy within BCOL is no accident. It is the result of a community dedicated to growth, knowledge, and connection. As Tu B'Shvat approaches, the winter landscape contrasts with the bright growth taking place inside BCOL. Tu B'Shvat teaches that life begins quietly beneath the surface, long before leaves appear. Similarly, whenever students explore a new idea or discover something about themselves and their heritage, they plant roots of learning that will bear fruit for years to come. December offered a powerful example of this growth. BCOL Madrushin High School participants planned and led the school-wide Hanukkah celebration, bringing energy and leadership to the entire community. Students attended the holidays linked outward by writing letters to Jewish soldiers stationed around the world through the Jewish Soldiers Project. With support from families and the TBZ Sisterhood, more than 140 Hanukkah candle boxes were collected and shipped, ensuring that soldiers could kindle light and hope wherever they were serving. As the new year unfolds, BCOL looks forward to continuing hands-on engaging learning. Students in grades 4 to 7 will explore electives ranging from Jewish cooking to kibbutz building to the always popular Jewish humor workshop led by Rabbi Alex and Mr. Rob. The youngest learners in the growing Ganainu program bring joyful beginnings each month through play, song, and stories, early shoots of a vibrant future. BCOL remains grateful for its students, families, teachers, teen leaders, and education committee members who make this community possible. As Tu B'Shvat invites reflection and renewal, may all continue to draw strength from shared values, grow with courage and creativity, and bring forth acts of compassion that uplift the world. Page 19. Chabad bringing Jewish life back to Niagara Falls. Since establishing a permanent presence on the American side of the falls, Rabbi Yehuda and Mrs. Judith Lorber have turned Niagara's world-famous waterfront into a warm, welcoming Jewish home away from home. What began with a mitzvah tank Jewish mobile center has grown into a full Chabad offering holiday celebrations, visitor services, Torah classes, and community programming tailored to both residents and the tourists who visit each year. Chabad's recent public programming has captured regional attention. A large scenic sukkah in Niagara Falls State Park drew thousands for Sukkot, and public menorah lightnings and Hanukkah events have become highlights on the seasonal calendar. The Chabad Mobile Center, stationed at key locations in the heart of the state park, especially during the high season summer months, have become a vibrant hub of Jewish connection, welcoming and attracting Jews from across the world for tefillin, inspiration, and friendly conversation. These high visibility initiatives reflect Chabad's simple mission: meet Jews where they are, with warmth and respect, while showcasing Niagara's natural beauty as a backdrop for Jewish life. Beyond celebrations, Chabad Niagara Falls, USA is making Jewish culture accessible for visitors. Its online hub and visitor guides now offer practical support for travelers seeking kosher options, holiday information, and meaningful experiences during their stay. It has also launched weekly Torah classes and family-friendly gatherings, enriching the life of a permanent and temporary Jewish community in the region. Looking ahead, the Lorbers envision a welcoming visitor center and expanded year-round programming that will make Niagara Falls, USA a recognized Jewish destination on par with its natural attractions, with plans to build on the mobile center's success, deepen local partnerships, and grow community education and family programming. Chabad aims to ensure every Jew who comes to the falls finds a place to celebrate, learn, and connect. For more information, you can visit chabadniagarafallsusa.org. Next article, Kickoff 2026 with Temple Beth Tzedek. In addition to our regular weekday and Shabbat Minyan services, please join us for Prophet's Voice and Vision, January 4th through February 1st, from 4:30 to 5:45 p.m. Women's Network Shabbat, Saturday morning, January the 17th, Tot Shabbat, January 10th and February 4th at 11 a.m. Junior Congregation, January 3rd and 7th and February 7th at 10:30 a.m. And family services held at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, January the 31st, as well as one in honor of Purim at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, February 28th. For more information, please visit btzbuffalo.org. Next article, Winter Bulletin Boards at Or Temimin. This winter, the hallways of Or Temimin School have come alive with bulletin boards that showcase the incredible learning happening in every classroom. These winter bulletin boards do more than decorate our walls. They celebrate the joyful, meaningful learning taking place on each day at Or Temimin. Through creativity, warmth, and education, our teachers ensure that this season shines with inspiration. Page 20, PJ and me, growing, learning, and connecting together. Early childhood years are precious, full of first giggles, first steps, and early sparks of curiosity. They are also when families begin weaving the threads of Jewish home life, bedtime songs, favorite books, and holiday rituals that become cherished traditions. For years, PJ Library has nurtured these moments in Buffalo by delivering curated values based books to families raising Jewish children. PJ Library is made possible through the support of the Greenspoon Foundation, the Buffalo Jewish Federation, and generous local donors. We warmly invite you to join us for the first PJ and Me program on Sunday, January the 4th from 3 to 4 p.m. Location will be shared upon registration at buffalojewishfederation.org/link gatherings. This was a summary of the article. Next article. First early Friday dinner at Young Israel. The first Shabbat following the end of daylight saving time is marked by an annual tradition at Young Israel. Following Friday evening services, the entire congregation gathered for a communal dinner, and those living too far to walk at night were accorded home hospitality by other member families. This year, additional overnight guests included several young men from the Rochester Yeshiva and from SUNY Fredonia. Everyone pitched in to make the evening as successful. Among the numerous homemade dishes were potato kugel, special salads, a large pot of delicious soup, and Moshe Chaimovit's signature chicken a la Moshe. Words of Torah were offered by Rabbi Avi Oken and Moshe Morrison. Following this, 2 gramen were delivered by Moshe Chaimovitz and, in absentia, Alex Green. Gramen are original humorous poems or songs that raise the level of cheer at Jewish gatherings, and these were in honor of a surprise birthday recognition of one of our members. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Jewish Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Page 21, Jewish Buffalo's Living History, Preserving the Legacy of Jewish Niagara Falls. The Jewish community of Niagara Falls, New York, holds a rich and enduring history dating back to the mid-19th century. Like many American cities along key transportation routes, Niagara Falls attracted Jewish immigrants who established thriving businesses and built community institutions crucial to their religious and social lives. The community was served primarily by 4 synagogues, of which 2 synagogues served until recently. Temple Beth Israel, a conservative founded in 1898, disbanded in 2012, and Temple Beth El Reform held services in the 1860s, adopted Reform style worship in the 1880s, formally incorporated in 1905, and celebrated its last high holiday services this fall. Ellen Frank, who has served Beth El's rabbi, was nice enough to show me around Niagara Falls this fall so that the Jewish Museum of Buffalo, JMB, could document the 4 cemeteries in Niagara County, photograph important Jewish sites, and document this once vibrant Jewish community. A favorite stop was in the Old Hebrew Cemetery, adjacent to Oakwood Cemetery. The land was purchased in 1864 by a group of Jewish settlers who bought it to be a cemetery. The first burial was that of a fallen Civil War soldier in 1865 named Daniel Cohn. The community is unsure of how many actual graves are on the site, but some records show that up to 30 plots were purchased by early Jewish settlers from the region. Daniel Cohn did not have a headstone placed at the time of his death. However, leaders of Temple Bethel located the grave and put a headstone on it. In 2019, living relatives came from Ohio to an unveiling with military honors and taps played on the presentation of the flag. As Niagara Falls' Jewish population declined, the challenge of preserving communal assets grew. The story of their community now continues through the Jewish Museum of Buffalo. The museum is a repository for the history of Jewish life throughout western New York, and it holds artifacts from the Niagara Falls community, including one of Temple Bethel's remaining Torah scrolls. As visitors engage with the Torah scroll, the memory of those who read and learn from this scroll continues. This sacred scroll represents the literal continuity of the Jewish tradition. By being housed in the JMB, the Torah serves to educate visitors about the Jews of Niagara Falls, the families who founded Temple Beth El and Temple Beth Israel, the Jews who built their lives and contributed to the city, and remain visible, honored, and accessible for future generations. The Jewish Museum of Buffalo Kofeld Judaic Collection, co-located within Temple Beth Zion, proudly shares a piece of local Jewish history in each issue of the Jewish Journal. Jill Abramovich Goodman, Jill at jmbuffalo.org, serves as the director of the Jewish Museum of Buffalo. Page 22. Building Interfaith Bridges at TBZ. In 2009, Rabbi Brent Goodman received a call about a local controversy in his small student congregation. The school board candidate wanted to rename winter break as Christmas break. The town's small Jewish community feared the implications. Rabbi Gottman's teacher, Rabbi Samuel Joseph, advised, "The best defense is to activate the voices of our interfaith allies." That counsel would shape his rabbinate. At the close of 2025, the Israel-Hamas war has strained interfaith relationships across the country, but not in Buffalo. Rabbi Tracy Kaplowitz comments, "So many colleagues mourn the loss of interfaith partners, yet Temple Beth Zion is bringing them together." On October the 9th, interfaith friends in the Sukkah brought together unexpected allies. Dr. Mustafa Goksek of the Muslim community said, "I need to stand with my Jewish friends when they face anti-Semitism, just like they stand with us when we face Islamophobia." Sikh leader Manjit Leo Singh added, "When you have these sorts of exchanges, you give someone else that spark to carry forward into the world." The next month, TVZ's choir was joined by the Westminster Presbyterian Church Choir for a joint Kristallnacht service. Hearing from children of survivors, one Westminster member reflected, "I have read about Kristallnacht, but hearing children describe what their families endured made it real." As the year closed, a final opportunity emerged. Buffalo Charity None Like You, We Cares annual gift-giving program, which serves more than 500 neighbors in need, required a new venue. Simultaneously, representatives from the Peace Drums Project, a steel drumming initiative from Haifa for Christians, Muslim, and Jewish children, were in Buffalo. They offered steel drums workshops to strengthen understanding through shared activity. Cooperation not only remains possible, but also it is essential for increasing understanding at times of tension. Next article, Buffalo Hadassah, Strengthening Connections Near and Far. Buffalo Hadassah, the westernmost chapter in the northern New England region, maintains strong ties with regional and national chapters through personal relationships and a wide range of programs. Recently, regional officers traveled from the Boston area to meet with the Buffalo Board, strengthening collaboration and shared learning. Members also participate in virtual programs, including meetings with chapter leadership, book club gatherings, and lunch and learn sessions that bring together Hadassah members across the region. The Buffalo chapter continues to offer in-person meetings and events while maintaining popular virtual options such as the well-attended book club, which meets year-round, even when members are traveling. Those interested in joining can contact, I'm going to spell it, PHYLLISMK Steinberg@gmail.com. Next article, KOT activities. When the call went out to the members of Keilat Or Zion that local food pantries were in urgent need of non-perishable items, the community responded with remarkable generosity. Within 2 weeks, the synagogue foyer was overflowing with donations. Several KOT members recently traveled to New Jersey to celebrate a special milestone with High Holiday Shazan Jeff Braverman, who is retiring from his role as director of Camp Nesher after 30 years. Fortunately for the community, he will continue to lead KOT's High Holiday Davening Ish Tishrei. Learning opportunities with Rabbi Schachter abound throughout the week. In addition to his sermons during services, he teaches daily across the Buffalo area. Sunday evenings, Bible for grown-ups at KOT, currently studying the Book of Samuel. Monday evenings, discussions with UB Hillel students on ancient teachings and contemporary issues. Tuesday afternoons, a Parsha class for KOT members and guests at a local law office. Wednesday evenings, Hebrew instruction via Zoom. Thursday afternoons, a Zoom class exploring the weekly Parsha through the lens of the Sefirot. Friday mornings, study of adult themes in the Parsha with Federation staff at KOT. For more information about any class, contact Rabbi Schachter at rabbischacter75@gmail.com. Page 23. Federation receives security grant to protect community's youngest. The Buffalo Jewish Federation has received nearly $70,000 in security funding from the Tepper Foundation, distributed through the Jewish Federations of North America, as part of a major 2025 initiative. This grant is one component of the Tepper Foundation's $8.75 million national investment to enhance security for Jewish early childhood programs and to strengthen interfaith and intercultural partnerships amid rising threats faced by Jewish communities across North America. The funding arrives at a critical time as anti-Semitic incidents continue to grow in the United States and Canada. Jewish federations are intensifying their efforts to ensure that families can participate fully and confidently in Jewish communal life. Since 2023, the Tepper Foundation Security Fund has awarded $23.1 million in grants, with nearly $18 million distributed through JFNA in 2024 and 2025, an indication of the Foundation's sustained commitment to Jewish safety and broad community collaboration. In Western New York, the Buffalo Jewish Federation has directed the new resources toward bolstering security at local partner agencies and synagogues serving children ages 0 to 5. Recipients include PJ Library, Camp Gan Israel, JCC Early Childhood, JCC Camp Centerland, Temple Beth Tzedek, Congregation Shir Shalom, and Temple Beth Zion. These settings play a formative role in the lives of young families, offering the first experiences of Jewish learning, community, and tradition. Ensuring that these spaces remain both welcoming and secure is central to the Federation's mission. The grant will help enhance physical protection measures and improve emergency preparedness, ensuring families feel supported and safe. The initiative also looks outward. As part of the grant requirements, the Federation is sharing its security knowledge with neighboring faith-based and cultural institutions. Through assessments, training opportunities, and joint planning, the Federation aims to strengthen the resilience of the broader community while fostering trust and cooperation. This work underscores a central belief: safeguarding Jewish life also supports the well-being and solidarity of all communities. Miriam Abramovich, CEO of the Buffalo Jewish Federation, highlighted the importance of this work, explaining, "Security is sacred work, and this investment from the Tepper Foundation supports the work we do to keep our youngest community members safe while deepening the partnerships that keep all of Jewish Buffalo strong." The Buffalo Federation is one of more than 100 federations across 39 states and Canada to receive support in 2025. The initiative builds on JFNA's Life Secure program, launched in 2018 and considered the largest philanthropic endeavor focused on Jewish communal security. With gratitude for this meaningful support, Buffalo Jewish Federation reaffirms its responsibility to foster a sense of collective Jewish identity, working to end anti-Semitism and ensuring that Jewish Buffalo remains secure, resilient, and flourishes for generations to come. There's an announcement on page 23, a celebration of Jewish life, second Fridays, 7 p.m., January 2026 to May 2026. They start on January the 9th, sponsored by Michael Berger. This will be at Congregation Shir Shalom, 4660 Sheridan Drive. Page 24, Exodus, the Journey That Made Us, new series at the Jewish Discovery Center. This winter, the Jewish Discovery Center is launching a new 10-week series that brings the book of Exodus to life in a way that is meaningful, relevant, and deeply connected to today's Jewish experience. Exodus, the Journey That Made Us, explores one of history's most defining narratives, not only as ancient text, but as the living heartbeat of Jewish identity. Guided by Rabbi Herschel Greenberg, participants will encounter the Exodus story as a historical drama, spiritual blueprint, and a core source of Jewish values and practice. The sessions will start on January the 5th, Mondays at 7 p.m. at the Jewish Discovery Center on 831 Maple Road. For more information or to register, contact the Jewish Discovery Center at 716-400-1550. Page 25. A Global Taste of Tradition, CJL's monthly Shabbat dinner. Every Friday of the month, the Center for Jewish Life hosts a special Shabbat dinner that invites the community to explore the flavors, stories, and traditions of Jewish life around the world. This unique monthly event blends the comfort and ritual of Shabbat with a vibrant culinary journey featuring dishes from many different regions. On January the 16th at 6:30 p.m., guests will enjoy an Indian-themed Shabbat dinner highlighting the unique Jewish connections to India. For more information and reservations, visit jewishbuffalo.com. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Jewish Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. In Loving Memory, Remembering Jack Yellen. This issue's In Loving Memory honors Jack Yellen, a visionary businessman, devoted family man, and steadfast community builder. We are honored to share excerpts from two of the eulogies delivered at his funeral on November 16, 2025. Shelley Yellen, son. My father was born in the Bronx in 1937. My father enrolled at Hobart College after completing his third year of high school. After college, my father was in the New York City area in the National Guard when his cousin suggested he ask out a girl from Buffalo. My mother was attending school in the city and, as it turns out, also the girl's roommate. For some reason, the girl was not ready when my father arrived, so she suggested my mother go on the date in her place. My mother was 19 and my father 21 when they got engaged on their second date. The way my father tells it, they were discussing getting engaged someday, and my mother did not hear the someday part. Next thing he knew, they were on the telephone announcing their engagement. My father started his career in the insurance business. A few years later, he joined my grandfather, Fred Lipa, in the scrap business. My father soon realized that some of the scrap steel was still in good condition and could be resold rather than scrapped. He visioned that selling new steel was a good business model and founded Lancaster Steel Service Company. Along the way, he and my mom raised 3 children, my sister Debbie, my brother Mark, and me. My father was very active in the community, serving as president of Temple Shari Zedek and several other local organizations. He was on the national board of the Steel Service Center Institute, served in leadership roles for the Buffalo Jewish Federation, and later volunteered as a docent for the Albrecht Knox Art Gallery. He was very proud of his work as president of the Niagara Frontier Vocational Rehabilitation Center, a sheltered workshop for adults with disabilities. My father deeply loved Debbie and Mark. He was very proud of Debbie's fierce independence, especially when she became a vice president at a Wall Street investment bank. when few women reached this level. He loved visiting her in New York City. They had a shared interest in art and culture, and together spent time visiting museums and neighborhoods. He loved Jerry, and it made him happy knowing Debbie and Jerry were so happy together. My brother Mark and my father shared many skills, including the ability to envision success. Like my dad, Mark could see what could be successful and used his strong computer and business skills to create so many endeavors. There remained a hole in my parents' heart after his loss. My father was proud of Adam, Mark's son, and enjoyed going to his many plays. My father really enjoyed his relationship with my Uncle Warren, my mother's brother. They worked together for many years, and my father referred to him as his brother. My parents were married for 66 years and loved spending time with family and vacationing in their happy place, St. Thomas. They developed many long-lasting relationships and together spent days on errands, visiting friends on the white sand beaches, and having casual dinners. My parents were like the king and queen of the island. They seemed to know everyone, and everyone loved seeing them. I have always looked up to my father. As with so many young boys, my dad was my hero, something that has not changed even as I have grown older. Sure, we fought and battled, especially working together. However, we always wanted to be together. I spoke with my father every day for as long as I can remember, even if just for a few minutes. His voice comforted me and put me at ease. My father deeply loved all his grandchildren, Kyla, Iggy, Noah, Ethan, and Adam. Very proud of each one. All such good people and driven to succeed in life. He knew Kyla had chosen the right life partner in Iggy, loving the way they love and care for each other. Noah Jelen, grandson. My grandfather, or Poppy as we called him, was a one-of-a-kind guy. To give him the label of just grandfather isn't fitting considering how much more he was to me. He was a role model, a confidant, a shoulder to lean on, and most importantly, a friend. One of the greatest compliments I could give to my grandfather is that despite being roughly 60 years apart in age, we had so much in common and were genuinely friends, whether it was discussing golf, business, watches, jewelry, food, and in the last year or two, girls, we always had something to talk about. Anyone who knew him can attest to the unique ability he had to make people feel seen, heard, and respected. My siblings and I always felt so supported by him. Any endeavor, any thoughts or feelings, he had a real ability to put himself into the shoes of others. My grandfather did not ask us for much. However, if he was here today, I know for a fact that his number one concern would be my grandmother. He would be worried about her grief, her health, her ability to move on and live a life without him. If my grandfather could ask everyone here one favor, it would be that after the funeral, after Shiva, as weeks go by and life turns to a new normal, you check in on my grandma. Poppy and my family would be incredibly grateful, and I know this is what would matter to him the most. Poppy will be missed every day, but I am grateful for all the memories with him. And if I can carry even one of the many qualities that made Poppy so great, then I know I am becoming the man that I want to be. Heidi Yellen, daughter-in-law. I really loved my father-in-law. Everyone did. but there was really no in-law distinction. Jack loved me and treated me like a daughter for as long as I can remember. The moment Shelley and I got engaged, Jack referred to himself as Dad. Having lost my dad shortly before meeting Shelley, I knew I could never call anyone else Dad. Despite my deep love and affection for Jack, it was just too painful. However, after 15 years into my marriage, Mark passed away. Father's Day was approaching, and without a thought of it, became the most natural thing in the world to call this amazing man Dad. This speaks volumes to the connection I felt to Jack. How lucky I am to have had not one, but two extraordinary giving and loving men to call Dad. In remembrance, the following individuals in our community passed away during the period from November 17th and December 12, 2025. Their memories forever be a blessing, and may their loved ones be comforted among the mourners of Zion. Jonathan Armstrong, Rosalind Fishkin, Harriet Ann Rosenfeld, and Dr. Robert Sannett. Page 28. Not the last word. My Friend Rice, Confronting Hate with Courage, by Rabbi Alex Lazarus Klein. I remember exactly where I was when I first heard the news. I was on the phone with my sister, who happened to live in New York City at the time, to wish her a happy birthday. A plane had hit the Twin Towers, she told me. At first I didn't believe it, so I rushed off to check it out on the World Wide Web. And there on the tiny screen of my computer was an image, full of smoke and fire. This was no small twin engine, but a full 747. When I went to call my sister back, all the lines were busy. It would take almost until the evening to finally get back to her. Thankfully, she was on the Upper West Side, miles from the disaster. The rest of the day I was in a daze. I had called into the rabbinical school to see if we still had class. They assured me there were, but after making the 45-minute trek up to the Philadelphia suburbs, I found out everything was, in fact, cancelled. It was a beautiful sunny September day, and I remember watching children playing outside, having just been dismissed from school, thinking nothing ever would be the same again. For those of us who lived through it, we all have our 9/11 stories. We know exactly where we were and what we were doing when we heard the news. Some of us may even know people who were lost or even present in Lower Manhattan when it happened. No matter our individual circumstances, the event changed us in big and small ways. Maybe it made us more fearful of airports, or of traveling, or just of life. It was impossible to live through something like that without being affected by it. Few of us more so than my friend Rais Biuyan, a recent Bangladeshi immigrant who was attacked in the days that followed 9/11 for one reason and only one reason alone, because he was Muslim. "Where are you from?" the man with the shotgun asked when he charged into the small bodega where Rice was behind the register. Before he could even answer, the man shot him in the face, leaving both a physical and emotional scar that the future film producer would spend the next 2 decades trying to come to terms with. His documentary Pain and Peace is a result of a promise he made to himself that awful morning. God, if you give me a chance to live, I would help others, he had told himself. Traveling across the country for the film, he interviewed both perpetrators and victims of hate crimes, including survivors of the May 14, 2022 attack in Buffalo. The documentary delves into both why people hate and also why they love. On Thursday, February the 26th, he will be coming to our area once again to share about his journey. Thanks to the generosity of the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo, our Buffalo Jewish Federation, and the chapel, we will be showing the film and having deeper discussions about the topic of hate. Read more on page 5. He was last here this past June, where he and I were part of a panel discussion on the film at Shai's 710 Theater. I am especially proud of our new partnerships with the evangelical Christian community, who have not only been big supporters of our Jewish community after the October 7th attack, but after dealt with many of the same issues of violence and hate as we have over the last few years. Thank you, Rice, for coming back to Western New York to open up this important dialogue in our community, and to the Community Foundation for making all this possible. Alex Lazarus Klein is the rabbi of Congregation Shir Shalom, along with serving as the rabbinic advisor of the Community Relations Council of the Buffalo Jewish Federation. You have been listening to a reading of articles and features from the January-February 2026 issue of the Jewish Journal. Your reader has been Marianne. Thank you for listening.